welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 205. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who heard you can get lawyers at IKEA now. They're very affordable, but you have to build your own case.
Yeah, okay, that one's all right.
It's pretty good, right?
That's a clever joke. That's a clever joke.
So any bloody Dan. Here he is.
Hello.
Hello. You all right?
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, no follow-up sound. Right. I'm good as well, thank you.
I didn't ask.
Oh, so I thought
I just want to get to the bloody news.
I'd fill the void. Well, we've certainly got some news, Dan, because this weekend was I forgot what it's called already. DC Fandome 2021.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened. We're not going to talk about all of it because, quite frankly, not all of it excited me, and I'm a selfish person. So...
Well, that's fine, and I think that let's just sort of put a hat on the CW and anything that they're potentially offering at this fandom. Wasn't particularly interested. No. I haven't been in their stuff for quite a bit. But Callum, other than that, and the TV stuff that they're doing, other than Titans, but I don't think there was any mention of them in there.
No, yeah, Doom Patrol and Titans have got another season each.
No, sorry, I was thinking animated, like Teen Titans Go.
Oh, we have got a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, Crypto and Ace the Bat-Hound?
No, it's called the Cape Crusader.
Okay.
It's a direct sequel to the original Batman the Animated Series.
Well, I thought Batman Beyond was a sequel to the animated series.
I mean, that's like... No, this is like a direct... So, similar animation, similar storylines, so on and so forth.
Okay.
No Justice League, no Robin.
I didn't.
No nothing.
Didn't see that one. That one's news to me.
Only a picture. There's no. There wasn't a trailer or anything. It's just a picture.
That's probably why I didn't find out about it. Then yeah, sure.
So, do you want to go with what is potentially probably the best thing, or do you want to just build up?
We'll build up.
We'll build up. We saw the first footage of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam.
Mm-hmm. Something that's been in the works for many years.
Yeah.
Like just sort of circling the drain of possibility. Remember when there was like teasers and stuff like this of like years ago, and obviously now we're only just in production of it, and we're getting the.
No, I was just gonna say it was a good while before they actually turned around and went, "Yeah, I am going to play Black Adam." It was just kind of like, "Oh, wouldn't The Rock be a really good choice to play Black Adam?"
The thing is that The Rock's the kind of guy he's got the build and the physique of any
all
comic
heroes
book character.
Yeah.
I mean, other than female characters, which I think he probably would struggle to get away with. You put him in a Superman suit, you put him in a bat suit, you put him in like a Thor, like a
Aquaman.
Hulk painting green. Do you know what I mean? Like, I reckon with that kind of body, he could pull off the majority of them.
Yeah, easy.
His acting style, though, probably wouldn't be able to get away with it. But it's like just the physique alone, and like, has he, other than maybe the Scorpion King, maybe has he played a bad guy before? Like, has he actually been a villainous bad guy?
I don't think so.
It doesn't strike me as the type who's cast as, he's always the baddie.
I mean, in Jungle Cruise, he was kind of like a naughty boy.
I haven't seen that.
It's pretty good. I liked it. I really liked it. I genuinely do. Yeah, I think it's on there now, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I like Emily Blunt and I like The Rock, so why not?
It's a really good film.
But yeah, like the impression I was getting from it is that he's not a bad guy.
Well,
he's like a Venom, he's sort of like
Black Adam.
He's technically a bad guy, but
originally was like in the same vein as Thanos is. He perceives that he's doing the right thing, even though it's clearly not. It's genocide, but in his mind, he's this is for the greater good, and that's kind of how Black Adam was, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, what's his city called? I think it begins with a K or something.
Kangland. Canada. I honestly can't remember for the life of me.
So I can't remember. I'm going to Google it because that's going to wind me up otherwise. But like he's got that see. Oh shit! I just
Hello.
Camera.
Because it was always.
I want to say it
like,
begins with a bloody K.
I genuinely can't think.
That's it.
There
Yeah.
you go. I was right.
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah. But so like, you know, we're gonna get Kondak and stuff like that. But you know, is he just gonna be, you know, like he's the, you know, the sort of leader of these people, and he's, you know, he wants to protect them. But outside of that, he's gonna like, because he's like a Legion of Doom kind of level of baddie. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's much of a way of.
Shazam, isn't he? So.
Well, the antithesis of, yeah. So the opposite too.
Yeah.
Like, but we kind of got that with fucking the first Shazam film, didn't we?
Pretty much.
You know, we had someone who had the demon powers and
strength.
So
and all that.
Yeah, to just have something similar and just be the bad guy. I don't know. I think that like Thanos would probably be a good sort of like a guide for what they're going to be doing with him. You know, if they want to make him a sympathetic character, and like obviously The Rock, they would have spent a lot of money just getting him on board for this sort of stuff. So they want to make sure
it's going to start with the slaves and everything else, and then obviously when he gets the powers, he goes batshit. But again, it's kind of like revenge for what they did to the slaves and all that. So it's they could go. I think they probably will go the Venom route, where Venom primarily started off as a bad character, like an arch nemesis for Spider-Man, and then as time's gone on, he's been more of an anti-hero. And then you get to the Sony movies, and he's just, you know, shit. But like he's not. I never see Eddie Brock as a. I mean, he's done a lot of heroic things, but he also auctioned off the symbiote when he gets cancer, and he just auctions the symbiote off to a gangster. That's not a very nice thing to do.
No, I don't know. I think that, like, again, it's very, very early days in terms of.
I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll make him an anti-hero.
Maybe, but why can't they just, like, I would want to watch a Sinestro movie, but he's just sort of like, you know, he's kind of downtrodden and he's a bit sort of down on his luck, and that's why he turns to the yellow, you know, yellow lanterns.
That's what they did with Joker.
Yeah, kind of like this, you know.
But you feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I just want a film about a bad guy. Is that so much to fucking ask? Just
Cruella.
being a bad guy. I haven't seen that either.
It's pretty good. I quite like it on Disney Plus.
These are all on Disney Plus now, so I should probably get around to watching them at some point.
But it's the same thing, though. I don't think I ever watched 101 Dalmatians and went, man, Corella's had it tough, hasn't she? Like, I couldn't understand why she wants to skid all these fucking dogs. But
yeah, sometimes you just, like, they did it with Maleficent as well.
I've not actually seen that. Not actually watched
that. That one's all right. Yeah, with Angelina Jolie. Yeah, but it's just sort of, it's like, you know, but they twisted that slightly, so it wasn't the same kind of Cinderella story. Sleeping Beauty,
Beauty, isn't it?
Yeah. And so it's not that same thing. Like, she was like, oh, she was the one who looked after Sleeping Beauty, and she raised her and all that sort of stuff. And it's just sort of like, I don't remember any of this. I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
She tried to kill her.
Fucking years. But yeah, she poisoned her. But it was like this sort of, you know, she was exploring, or I don't know. But sometimes you just want a bad guy to be a bad guy.
Yeah. Like
Thanos, he's, you know, you can understand his motives and you can relate to him, but no one can argue that he's, you know, he's doing things for the right reasons. He's a maniac bad guy.
He is, but he's not, like, obviously in the comics, he's the mad titan, and he is like a genocidal fucking maniac. In this, it's more you don't sympathise for him because he kills most of the Avengers, but like, you see his logic, and you don't necessarily agree with it, but you go, I mean, I see where he's coming from.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's not that he, you know, he breaks down and it turns out that he had a rough childhood or whatever, and that's why he's, you know, he's still the bad guy and he needs to have his head cut off. Yeah. And that's why he works as such a good villain. But I don't think that
if he was 100% like, I listen to my reasons, I'm doing it for the right thing. There's not enough resources to go around. Just use the Infinity Gauntlet to make more resources. Didn't to kill everyone.
But then but that's the thing. Like, that's his justification for just being a genocidal maniac.
Yeah, so he's trying to justify a bad thing, and whilst logic and reason is there, it's still not the right thing.
No, but if they'd have gone down the sort of the death route that he's trying to impress death, if they'd have gone, oh well, he wants to kill half the life in the universe, to impress death,
to get his big purple dick wet,
or dusty probably, but as a fringe benefit, everyone else that survives will be, they would benefit from it. That to me would then make, oh, okay, well, it's not just a case of I'll just double the resources, because then that doesn't fulfill the death thing.
Yeah.
But maybe from the Marvel thing, they go, well, now we need someone who plays death, and how do we explain death? And I mean, they could do it if they bring in Deadpool into the MCU, because Deadpool and death have got, a relationship as well. But it's too late for that now anyway, because he's fully dead and wiped from existence.
He's gone it.
Oh yes, he is.
Something we didn't see a lot of: Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the game.
Well, we got a new trailer for it.
Only a CGI trailer, no gameplay.
Let's just assume it's going to look like Gotham Knights. It's going to be sort of like a third-person runabout. Like Gotham Knights, I'm still going to get because that looks ace.
They've changed the character designs on it. It looks less Arkham-y.
The first time we saw them was like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I went back and had a look at the first reveal trailer, and the first reveal trailer's like real Arkham looking.
It was basically it was like the Nightwing and Batwoman that had been used in.
Red Hood's got a fucking Deadpool mask now. It's like the eyes are animated and stuff, and it looks a little bit more cartoony.
Maybe they've just tweaked things, like if they've just done focus groups where it's easier to do it like that or cheaper or whatever, then that's...
But again, no gameplay, just fucking more CGI.
No, again, we had that a couple of years ago though, so I mean, if you know how to play Arkham Knight, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I'll get both of them, like that's not a question, but...
Yeah, I think I'd probably get Gotham Knights over Suicide Squad.
See, I don't think I would, because this Suicide Squad's made by the guys that made the Arkham games, and the other one ain't.
Well, the question is this an online multiplayer?
I imagine they all are, both of them, because they're both going to be like squad based.
Yeah, I think that if whichever one you end up getting first, I'll just go along with it.
I mean, they're not going to come out on the same day, are they? They're both made by Warner Bros. Like Umbrella, it's still Warner Brothers, so they're going to release one, and then X amount of months later release the other one.
Did we get any release dates?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
I don't like. They always seem to put the dates and stuff at the end of the trailers. I'll never stick around for that long. I usually see whatever the deal is.
I watched it all the way through because I was lining them up because I didn't watch the event live. I just watched the trailers after. And when you come off a video on YouTube and it just goes to the corner, like the bottom of the screen, it was just on that. Yeah. So I would have missed it because I wasn't looking at it.
If they're still showing trailers and
It'll
stuff,
be next year.
Yeah, next 6 months, 8 months, something like that. Yeah, I reckon. But that one looks all right. It looks like something kind of fun to look forward to.
Yeah.
There was also some trailers for Titans. There was like an end of season 3 teaser, I think, for Titans, but I didn't watch that.
I didn't watch it because we still haven't got it yet.
No, I haven't been able to watch season 3 of Titans yet, which I'm fucking gutted about. Yeah. But luckily, I haven't seen anything, any spoilers, know nothing about it, and I'm purposefully steering clear of it. Well, that's annoying. But then we got a season 4, was it, for Doom Patrol?
Season 4, 4 for both. 4 for Titans, 4 for Doom Patrol.
Right, because I didn't know that there was a season 3 for Doom Patrol.
It's not over here yet. HBO Max.
God damn it, Amazon. That's supposed to be your job here.
I don't understand
putting this sort of stuff
why don't
over.
We have HBO Max?
I think it's like an American thing. Like everything's just sort of like chopped up into little bits and then sold to people, because you can, if you got one network, so your HBO, so they'll do your Game of Thrones and they're doing the Last of Us show and that sort of stuff, and you go, oh, well, I want to watch those. That would be one set thing.
Yeah.
But then you've got like CBS Access, so you go, oh, like all your Star Trek and your Paramount stuff. Oh, well, I'll get that one, and now I can watch Discovery and I can watch Lower Decks and whatever. But then because we don't have sort of these weird sort of like chop and change like TV packages and stuff like that, which are horrendously expensive in America, they just seem to get, because like we don't have Hulu either, which is another sort of thing over there. Like it seems to be split down the middle. So like some of the DC stuff, like Justice League or whatever, that comes on Netflix. But then it's also, as is Wonder Woman and Aquaman, they're on Amazon.
Yeah.
But then Titans, that will be on Netflix. And
but for stuff like Titans and Doom Patrol and stuff, so like you're gonna
Doom
love
Patrol's on Amazon. So do you know what I mean? Why aren't they on the same one?
That's what I mean. But like Riverdale is on the CW in America and on Netflix over here, but it's CW do it weekly, so Netflix does it weekly. So it's on CW today, but it's also on Netflix today, and then next week, vice versa. So why aren't Amazon doing that with fucking Titans? Why, when they're getting an episode, why don't we get a fucking episode?
Well, no, because it's not Amazon. Is
No,
it?
but I mean, like, I know
Netflix.
that's a bad example because I should have just said Netflix. But like, why don't they do the same thing for that?
I don't know, because like with like Discovery, say, like that comes out weekly, but that's because we don't have that CBS thing in the UK. So
That's what I mean. Why don't we? Like, I understand when
don't give them that fucking impression. I want everything to just get filtered through Netflix and Amazon. That's fine by me.
No, I think I'll wait a
got
year.
access to both of them. No, I mean, yeah, release them at the same time, obviously, but I don't want 4 different things that I've got to pay for. Like Disney Plus is one thing, because like that's not only all the properties that Disney owns, which is significant at this point now, including Fox and stuff as well. But then it's their entire back catalogue as well.
Yeah, it's worth the
And for like,
money.
what is it, like £4 a month, something like that?
8.
Like, is it? Oh, has it gone up? Yeah. That's worth it.
I think so.
Because like with that amount of content there, I don't think you could really get through it before it gets updated like significantly.
You couldn't watch
stuff.
everything before they take stuff off
No.
and add stuff in and all that stuff. But like, just the fact that there's no bigger corporation than Disney, and no
Amazon.
one's no in terms of
I think
content.
No, I think
like,
Amazon is the biggest company.
No. I mean, yeah, but Amazon's got nothing to watch. What I mean is like the Disney.
The Boys, Preacher.
I mean, Preacher's finished. So you're saying
There's a bunch of other stuff as well.
so you got a choice. You can only have Disney Plus or Amazon Prime. What do you choose?
Well, one of them is actually no. They're both about £80 a year, aren't they?
No, it's not a money thing. It's just they'll only allow you to have one of those.
Who's they in this situation?
Disney.
Well, then I'm going to side with Disney overlords.
But no, I mean, like, there's more. There's more for your money because there's nothing on Amazon with the exception of The Boys, The Tick, which they fucking cancelled. Preacher has finished. American Gods has got a bit in there, but it's still watchable.
Well,
That's
there's like
it.
Picard and Lower Decks.
So behind on both of those.
Like they're both on Amazon, but then all of Star Trek, all the TV shows are all on Netflix,
Yeah.
and yet the films aren't anywhere. Like you got to pay for them on Amazon, which I'm not prepared to do because they're like it's like $2.50 or something for a film.
I had to do it fucking. Before I went to see No Time to Die the other week, I was like, I'm going to watch all the Daniel Craig Bonds and get in the mood.
Good
Not
shout.
on anything. Like, I've got the Blu-rays.
MGM, do you reckon? That's just them just being dicks about streaming
Well,
services.
I know they was. I know Skyfall definitely was on Netflix because I saw it when I was flipping through stuff, like whatever it was, and I couldn't be bothered to go in the loft and go in the because we don't watch Blu-rays and DVDs or anything, so I just put them in the loft, and I couldn't be asked to go up and get them. So I was like, yeah, it'd be on Netflix. Nothing. Went on Amazon. It's on there, but I got to fucking pay like £7 for it. Like, hey, mate, so I've got it in the loft.
Yeah, I'll go up the ladders. I'll tell you what, though, speaking of, a friend of mine took, it's about 10 or 11, like, Blu-rays and I think some either PS4 or PS5 games to CEX, which is a GameStop equivalent in the UK. So, like, they'll take, like, secondhand games and videos and whatever. So these were all Blu-ray, again, don't forget. So how much do you reckon he got for, like, it was like 10 discs? In boxes and stuff, one of which was still perfectly wrapped.
£7.
Like, not even opened. It was like £2.3.
Yeah.
Like, some of them, when they put the trade-in thing through, 1 pence. And I was like, if I were you, I would have taken them all back.
What?
And just be like, that is a fucking insult.
Is
like the one that was wrapped, like unopened, 10p. That's what they were offering for it.
Is I assume this is in Manchester.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there a game anywhere nearby that's CEX?
Yes.
So, what you can do, top tip, everyone. If you go online, go on CEX, type in the stuff where it's like, I want to sell and I want to buy and I want to sell. Add it all up, toad it up, print it off, put it on your phone, whatever. As long as it is like so many yards away from game, if you go to game and give it them, anything that CEX gives more than game will, they'll give you an extra £1.
That would actually work out as like, because at this point it wasn't worth the drive for them to go to town. Like they lost money on that.
Well, I took it when I got when the Xbox One first came out. My Xbox 360 was broke, and I was like, I may as well just take all the fucking games, because at the time it wasn't backwards compatible, and you couldn't. So I couldn't play them, so I just take them CX. So I went on, did that, and then I went to game. I went, this is what they'll give me. And the Simpsons game gave me like, I don't know, like £3 or something like that for it. But CX would give £13. And CX works on how many copies they've got. So the fewer the
like
copies, the more
demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they obviously hadn't got many or any. And they offered £13, so game had to give me £14. And the woman was there, and she was like, "It's not worth this much money." I was like, "No, it is not." But no. I'll take it.
It's the weird CX algorithm that they've got.
I hate, honestly. I've had this argument with so many people, you included. And I mean, I remember once when Logan was little, I was going to get Paw Patrol. There was a Paw Patrol game on the Switch, and it was like £25 in Argos, brand new, but it was out of stock. And I was in CX or something else, and they had that Paw Patrol game, and it had a second-hand sticker on it, and it was like 30 quid. Like, how can you charge this much money? It's fucking Paw Patrol, so it's not a good game anyway. And brand new, it's £25. And the girl,
because they're sold out.
Yeah, they didn't fucking do that. But the girl said,
to be fair, if they're doing their job, they will.
Yeah. That's true, but like I said to girls, she's like, anything else? I bought like something else, and she's like, anything else? I was like, yeah, this, but like it's only £25 brand new at Argos. And she's like, we don't price match. I went, I don't need to match it. I want you to lower it. It's second hand. Like, I'm not paying for, like, I never got it. No fucking chance. And I threw it at her. I didn't. I just put it on the counter. Anyway, DC. Speaking of HBO Max, we got Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
I of the impression you wasn't too thrilled about this.
I
think
really
it looked all right.
Like the newest Suicide Squad film, infinitely better than the other one.
Yeah, miles
better than most of the things that they've made fairly recently. To be perfectly honest,
genuinely good film.
Yeah, it's a good little romp.
Yeah.
And like John Cena was fucking banging in it. Like he was a good sort of like comedy, kind of like, buddy thing with Idris Elba. And then he just turns at the end.
Yeah.
And he's
Spoilers.
like, sorry, mission comes first. It's that he's got that kind of a deal to him, And just sort of like, I don't know, like I like the idea of giving him a TV show, but I don't know, like the people that they just sort of like just bunged in with him, like his people, behind the scenes arranging missions or whatever. I'm just sort of like, it would take a couple of episodes to sort of feel out as to whether I'm going to be into whatever fucking weird ass banner and stuff like that is going to be going on.
I'm open to it, but I think a lot of the charm was the bounce off with him and Idris Elba, and I mean, you may get something similar, but like, no.
Well, there's that vigilante that's been like, he's going to be sort of like a sidekick.
But I think he's going to be more of the comedy stuff to it, because he doesn't look massively competent in the trailer. But
I tell you what though, Robert Patrick turning up as the dad, ding, classic. Love a bit of RP.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm cautiously optimistic. And I think it could be really good.
To get him on board, it would have to be pretty decent.
And they've trained an eagle to hug him.
I mean, I don't know how they pulled that off. Like, that's half the budget straight away. But
stuff like this always worries me, though.
Be fine.
I think it could be. It's just like Dave Bautista, John Cena, even Dwayne Johnson. None of them are fantastic actors. It's more the charm that they all possess. Dwayne Johnson arguably is a lot better than most of the other wrestlers.
Have you seen Jumanji, man? That's a fucking belting film.
Have you seen The Tooth Fairy?
No, but that was like way.
But that's what I'm saying. Act. But this is John Cena's, like, these are his first roles.
No, man, he's done probably a bunch of dodgy films that no one's ever heard of before. They're like Prisoner 432 or something, and it'll be like that on the cover of the DVD or whatever.
And like Dave Bautista, like, he hasn't done lots of stuff, and The Rock did a lot of very subpar things before he got that climb, and I think he's a good actor now, but I mean, they're all better than me, but
they're all bigger than you as well. So I'd watch what you say, because they'll come
all of them.
Pile drive you through your front drive.
This camera knocks off about 10 stone of muscle.
Pure muscle. Yeah. The glasses make up for it though. Don't worry about it.
But no, I think it could be good. I think I would have preferred a. Oh man, I forgot what was Idris Elba's character.
Bloodsport. No.
Yeah, it's Bloodsport.
Sorry, I'm thinking of that Vin Diesel Bloodshot thing.
I think I would have preferred that show.
That I'd agree with.
But
like, with it's just sort of like he's just forced to go through this sort of like bullshit. To be fair though, like, I reckon you could do a Suicide Squad show. Just do like a sort of a 9-10 episode run or whatever, and instead of having 18 different characters that all go on screen and do a thing at the same time, you go, okay, well, Nathan Fillion, this one's your episode. You've just been called up on your own for something that we just think that you can deal with. It doesn't matter if you get killed.
Season 1 are these people. Season 2, well, they're all dead. Now it's these people. You just keep maybe like changing it up.
Whoever's like you Idris Elba's. I mean, maybe again, you probably wouldn't get some of the actors to do it necessarily, but
money.
Look, that's the thing. It's always going to be money. Like, to get Idris Elba back with like John Cena and
he's not afraid to do, like, I mean, like, he's done quite a few TV shows, so it's not.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's beneath him
dropping from the big screen to that. I think it's just going to be is it something he wants to do?
Yeah, for sure. But even if it's just sort of like we'll just do a one episode on you, and you just sort of like, we've obviously got the suit, and we'll just you go around and just sort of beat up some people and shoot some people, and
that's
we'll
the easy way around it, isn't it? You film a couple of scenes where he hasn't got a mask on, and the rest of it ain't even got to be there.
Also true. Yeah, just do the VO work afterwards. Yeah. But I mean, I'll reserve judgment for it. Like, the trailer's not bad by any means. I think it's just going to be. Fine. They're going to be. I think they're going to be sort of pushing like a Deadpool kind of vibe for it. Yeah. It's going to be grim and brutal and stuff, but lols along the way in an eagle.
It's going to be funny stuff, and
it's whether is it going to be forced. I think that's the thing. Like, if it's not too violent or crazy actiony, because like budget. If it's just sort of like just loads of really flat jokes,
which I think that potentially could be.
Maybe, I don't know. Again, I think like certainly with like Titans and with Doom Patrol, I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be into this or not, but I'm going to watch that first episode, and by the end of the first episode, I was like, yeah, I think I'm on board for this, and then it's sort of gotten better from there.
Was you not bought in by the trailer for Titans? I was like, fuck Batman.
No, because that itself was just like. Oh. Like,
that was such a poorly chopped trailer.
Bit cringy, that is.
But when you watch the episode, it's fine. Because he's talking about like all this fucking shitty way he was brought up and everything else, and it works. But just having that, they just put it in because he swore.
Yeah, they were just like, this ain't Teen Titans.
Yeah,
this ain't Teen Titans Go. This is war. This is pure and real and gritty and cool.
All they had to do to get me into Titans was show the scene in when Hawk and Dove have been captured, and Robin's doing like the most Batman we've seen on screen.
He's like zipping overhead.
Yeah, and he's taking people in. He fucking gets him in the dick with the garden shears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just that scene alone. It's like, yep, I could watch this.
Have a season of that, please.
Yeah, real good tie-ins. Real good. Anyway, speaking of Batman, the Flash. We got a little sneaky tease. Ezra Miller. Yeah. I want to say Bridger. That's Star Wars.
That's a Jedi, but sure.
It looks fine. Didn't see a lot. Very little.
Well, I mean, they were quite open about the fact of just sort of like, we haven't really finished it yet, so we haven't got much to show you, but here's a little bit. And, you know, we get some, you know, we get the new suit. Love it. Love the new suit.
Yeah,
like, I don't want any of that sort of like weird elastic sort of strapped on pieces of whatever. Like, he's got the ring, so he's gonna have his costume stored in there, and he's gonna pop out and he's just gonna put it on, and it's like, oh, perfect. Way better than like the Justice League.
Yeah. Miles
costume.
better.
You know, obviously we're going to get some element of Flashpoint if it's not going to be Flashpoint itself, because he's traveling back through time to save his mom. So potentially we've got a Reverse Flash thrown in there as well. But then we've
got another universe Flash in there.
Yeah.
Did you see?
There was 2 extra flashes.
Yeah, you had main guy in the middle, 2 either side. So on the shot, he's on the left-hand side. Did you see the suit that he had on? The one on the left?
No, I got as far as it's Ezra Miller with long hair. And I was just like, oh, so it's going to be like another version of him. That's cool.
He has got, his suit is a Batman suit with the Flash lightning bolt spray painted onto it.
No way. I didn't notice that.
So it's been like spray painted red, and then they've put lightning bolt over
it. So is that like an Injustice kind of Flash, where it's just sort of...
Don't know, because it's the... Looking at the logo, it's dead round, so it's very similar to the 89 Batman suit.
So it could have just been like, can I borrow a suit? And the thing is, though, like, they made it quite clear, like, in the Snyder Cut, like, unless he's wearing, like, actual, like, speedster-proof
clothes... They did it in the TV show.
They explode off him immediately,
in the TV show as well, didn't they? They did all the tests. If he goes
too fast, like, Batman can't move that fast. So unless he's built a suit,
maybe he's built a speed suit for.
But then why would he put his fucking logo on it?
Because it's for him.
What, when he gets speed?
Because in this version of this Batman version has got speedster powers.
Then how did the Flash beat him? Like, the only thing that Batman would have would be everything else other than the speed. You give him the speed as well, he's unstoppable.
Maybe that's the case.
Imagine that warehouse scene from Batman vs Superman, but it all happened in a fraction of a second. Everyone's just through a window.
Maybe that's
and
what it was.
They're
like, Keaton, I want you to come back and be Batman. He was like, only if I can run fast. And they go, done.
I'll cut half my fee if you give me super speed, so I don't have to be there for most of it, because it's all CG. And they're like, I guess we can make it work.
I do like that we still haven't seen him. You just see the back of the cowl.
Yeah, but it's still stiff-necked.
Well,
like old rubber suit.
I read a
potentially
thing.
Then it's not him in it. It could just be someone who's just found the cowl and put it on. Just been like,
potentially, yeah. Maybe that's another Flash, and he's just like, look, I'm Batman.
Yeah, like you get like a Wally West or something like that.
Yeah,
someone else has just been pulled through, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm in the Batsuit. This is cool. And then like Michael Keaton comes downstairs and he's like,
the fuck you do?
Who are you? Who are you? And why are you two the same? And why are you wearing a Batsuit covered in red? What the fuck? And it just beats them all up. I'd love that.
That'd be a great scene, to be fair.
Yeah.
I did read that he can. he still had the original 89 suit. I don't know whether it was he had it or the studio still had it, but he could still fit into it. But they are making a new one for this.
I should bloody well hope so.
So it's going to be movable and stuff.
But that's what I mean, though, because that one seemed like it was the original 89. Like, you've got to turn your body to turn your head sort of thing.
I think it's more a visual thing. So you go, 89 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that's what it'll be anyway.
No, I totally agree. I mean, it could just be trailer bait as well. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But I think the biggest sort of, like, the thing I was more excited for was when he was just uncovering the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And, like, clearly, like, the length of it and then, like, the bump on the top, that's the 89 Batmobile. Yeah. Or, because obviously we don't really know at what point him and Michael Keaton are going to cross paths. So it could be, it's the Michael Keaton 89 Batman, but he's aged 25 years. And he's just sort of like a Thomas Wayne. He's kind of like, he's just fucking sick of everything.
Could be like Batman in the future.
He's like a Ben Affleck Batman then. He's just sort of like, he's just past it and he just doesn't care anymore. But he's just, but he's still got his, like, not necessarily the classic one, but like a redesign of the classic one.
I'd like it if they did a Joey and they move the blanket and it's just boxes to look like a Batmobile.
It's like the Robin cycle. And it's like Robin was just, or it's like they whip it off and then it's the Adam West car.
Yeah, or the Lego Batman.
Just put that back on. We don't need that. But like, again, like when you're dealing with a Flash movie, like it's all going to be, again, if it's Thorn and it's Reverse Flash and speeders and whatever,
it's got to be on it.
Why would Batman be involved?
I think it's more, what can we do to make people interested in this?
But then, like, it would be like if they're doing Flashpoint properly, then Michael Keaton isn't there as Batman, as Bruce Wayne. He's there as Thomas Wayne, and his Batman is different from your Bruce Wayne Batmans. I'd be totally fine with that.
I would, but I want Negan to play him if that's the case.
Do you know what? What's his name? Thomas. Something Morgan.
We have this every time we talk about it. Right?
It really annoys me. It's like Thomas Dean Morgan, is it?
Something like that. I
think so. Or Dean Thomas Morgan. Either way, the guy who played the comedian and Negan. And,
he's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely he is.
That's Dr. Batman if ever I've seen one.
Yeah, well, I think
he's already Thomas Wayne.
Technically, yeah. We've already seen it.
Yeah.
But we also saw him get shot to death. So
yeah, but this is this is just a different, like, obviously in Flashpoint.
No, but again, yeah, but that's what I mean. They'd have to do that same scene again with what's her name,
Maggie and Baby Bruce.
Yeah, and then so instead of them two getting shot, it's Bruce getting shot instead, and then it kind of it unfolds from there. Because then, for a lot of people, they've seen the fucking Thomas and Martha Wayne shooting a fucking 100 times, but then bang, Bruce.
Yeah.
And people are like, ooh, that one's... I mean, again, if you've seen Flashpoint or read Flashpoint...
Yeah, I mean, it's
old hat.
Yeah,
but I think for sort of the mainstreamer who, they'll watch a Batman film when it comes out, they won't know everything about it or whatever, and they'll expect the film to just tell them what's going on. I reckon that would be kind of an unusual start.
Well, the fact that people would go, again, and then it plays out differently, and they go, wait, what? Like, imagine if instead of Uncle Ben getting shot, it was Peter.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of it. And then Uncle Ben has to turn to Spider-Man. Amazing. I'd watch that film for sure.
He just makes rice. Makes a rice empire.
Yeah.
But it'd be enough to make it different enough. And they wouldn't have to dwell on it enough. Like, all they need to do is, this is what happened. Now this guy's a psychopathic Batman, and Ashley's a psychotic Joker. And it's just a fun, interesting way of playing it out. But it's not just role reversals like Thomas Wayne Batman is. He's got. I think he's probably one of my favourite versions of Batman. Not my favourite suit though. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the pointy.
Just the reds.
I like the red. I like the red eyes and the red symbol and stuff. I don't like the pointy bits on the suit and stuff.
Well, if he's going for like a demon, scary demon sort of thing, then bit gargoyle.
Again, I think it's just something to differentiate it. Like, what are the odds
also true,
that both Bruce and Thomas both go, well, I'm gonna have to be Batman. Like, because there's no, it's not like it's a thing. I know they did the shitty thing in Batman Begins where he's afraid of bats and all that shit. It's like you have to become what you fear and all that shit. I hated that. That was stupid. I love the film, but I didn't like that of it.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, this is the thing though, because like if I don't, this whole fucking thing is just a mystery at this point, of course. But like, for him to end up with two other Flashes, and then ending up in a different Batman's, like, what happened for that chain of events to come around?
But this is why this could either be really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be like, it's
they might be barely in it.
That would be more likely, but it's a good sell. It's like the Joker from fucking the first Suicide Squad.
They're not going to make that mistake
Joker.
again, Keaton's got to have a significant part in this film.
Yeah, to reprise a role like 30 years later. But again, can he be like, I don't want to just go around punching people and stuff. Like, he's like,
maybe he's just the
60.
brains of it. Maybe he's just the brains of it, and he's like, this is what we need to do to save the day.
In Flashpoint, like Thomas Wayne, he wasn't there because he was Batman and could beat the shit out of everybody. He was there to plan things through.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So you'd have 89 Batman doing that. You'd have Ben Affleck Batman doing all the punching and bone breaking and everything else, and then Flash doing all this. Well,
technically though, because aren't they the same Batman? Because there's a line in Justice League, I think, where Alfred's is like, oh god, remember the only time we had to worry about anything was exploding penguins.
No, I don't think that doesn't make it. The Penguins always had like jokey penguin.
But when have we ever seen the Penguin other than it Returns?
The animated series?
No, that obviously that doesn't count.
I mean, it has to.
No, not in the terms of what we've already seen so far.
No,
Again,
no, but
don't think of what you know about it.
No, but it was like a direct thing to Batman '89, wasn't it? The animated series that was made because of the movies. Yeah.
But this was, I think it was Returns. Was it Forever? No, it would have been Returns. Yeah,
it's Returns because the first Batman's. Oh my god, I can't think of any names. Jack Nicholson. Then it's Danny DeVito, Penguin, and Catwoman.
Yeah.
Then you go into Batman Forever territory there.
Val Kilmer, yeah. But yes, I mean, if exploding penguins, that's
I think it's just an offhanded comment. What if they go, oh, actually, that is the same Bruce Wayne, just this one's 25 years further on, where the Ben Affleck one was like, he was like 10, 15 years along. So he hasn't even gotten to the point where he's Keaton yet. And it's just like, just stop me, Batman. It's not worth it. Like, there's no point in it anymore. Everyone's still a criminal. I've done fuck all about it. Superman hasn't helped. Like, it's just really sort of worn down and just hates his job, but he knows that he's got to carry on doing it, kind of thing. Think we'll get that? Think we'll get emaciated Superman? So she's kept prisoner in that kryptonite thing where he's all tied up and he's just like massively emaciated.
It's Red Sun prison, isn't it?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
like it stops his powers basically.
And he's all dead. Not dead, but close to.
I don't know, because then you'd have to recast Superman. Because you can't say, "Hey, Henry Cavill,
no, you do
you're
Chris
the
Evans,
biggest fucking man in the world."
You do Chris Evans like they did in Captain America.
Just what changes? I don't know. I wouldn't trust Warner Brothers with face swapping technology.
It's just deep fake.
All they had to do.
YouTubers do it.
Yeah, they nailed it with a fucking mustache, didn't they?
Yeah, but that wasn't deep fake, was it? They tried to edit out a mustache.
Yeah. Well, try and edit out an entire body and face or whatever. They never pull it off.
You can get apps that do it.
Just do it film it on Snapchat.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But speaking of Batman, the only thing that I was excited about, and I was not disappointed. I don't know if you was, but I definitely wasn't. Robert Pattinson, the Batman, proper full trailer.
Love it.
Thank fuck for that.
It's gonna be,
I honestly thought you were just going to go, shit, hate it every second.
I think this is... I'm going out on a limb here And
Don't.
our motto is very much a case of a trailer doesn't mean anything. It's not representative of a finished product. This is going to be the best live action Batman film we've had so far. That's going to be my theory on it.
I'm still on the... I 100% agree, but I'm still on the same as we had the warehouse scene from Batman v Superman. That's... The rest of the film's fucking garbage, but that scene is just phenomenal. And even if this film is bad, we've still got this trailer. And there was not a single part of this trailer. Like, I love the red. I love the Robert Pattinson's Batman's really fucking good. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to be a proper, like, he's going to be a good bad guy in this. Like a proper maniac kind of. Just, yeah.
The cinematography of it, like the final shot when the car's flipped and he's walking upside down towards him and stuff, and the ears join into the A as the logo comes. It's just like every part of this trailer. This was like a very well made trailer, which means it's just a good, like, they haven't really had to go, oh, we're going to struggle to find bits to put in this trailer that are really good, and the whole film's really good, or these are all the best bits from the film, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I don't think that's the case.
The way that it's shot, like, it seems, everything seems very purposeful.
Yeah.
Like all the colours, like they seem to just, oh man, there's such a good gradient of just like, everything matching in its, there's nothing that's like outside of its own. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Like, so in my brain it works.
If you look at the Nolan films, are very blue and cold, and it's just like, I think it's just the fact that they're shooting on IMAX and they haven't really gone for there's no specific style they've gone for. It's just, look at this very high quality film. Whereas this, all the colour palette seems everything's purposeful. And I mean, Matt Reeves, just as a director, in general, he seems to be, this is the vision I want. And a lot of that will be down to like your cinematography and colour gradients and the different palettes that you can use for certain set pieces. But like I say, I 100% agree. I think everything is very purposeful. And
well, I think that they haven't, because like what they did with the first one is that they did a very vague sort of set. Again, they hadn't finished everything by that point anyway.
The teaser thing.
But for the very first one, like last year. Was it last year or was it earlier this year?
It was at the very first Fandome.
Right, okay. Last year. But they, it's just sort of like, it's him just sort of Bruce Wayne, and then you go, oh, he's got the makeup on. Oh, that's cool. And you hear, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
And, you see Catwoman very briefly. But, it's about this Riddler guy, and he's leaving a riddle and whatever. And then it's just sort of like, oh, okay, so this is going to be like, it's like a mystery novel. That's cool. And then right at the end, they put a little clip in of him beating someone almost to death by the looks of it. And then everyone else is just like, I don't want to fuck with this guy. Like, he's a mush on the floor. Like, they didn't seem to be that kind of like, I don't think they need to sell it like that anymore, where they go, oh, and here's a cool thing that he does.
Yeah.
Like, they've added a bit more with the Batmobile and say, sure, and they've clearly shown that this is going to be Riddler and Penguin. So I think that this is, I'm more than comfortable saying that I think this is going to be the most well thought through, like probably the best story, and I can't imagine there's going to be a huge amount of action set pieces where, like, it's not going to be a warehouse scene where he's going to be like wiping out like 12 dudes.
I mean, I don't know. There was a scene in this trailer where he's taking on like a good few people.
Well, it's those goons, I think.
Walkway thing, yeah, but it's like on a bridge thing, and he's just like the camera goes to the side, and they're all running at him, and he's just taking them all out. But what I like about this trailer, and the first one as well. So that first bit when he's just fucking absolutely wailing in that guy, and then everyone else is looking on, and then he like stands up, and you see it from the back, almost like he's like just rising. And then in this one, I think there's two scenes when he's getting shot, and he just keeps fucking walking towards them, and his fucking bullets flying off him and stuff. And I don't think there has been a single, Ben Affleck included, I don't think there's any Batman where they are actually feared.
Well, no, I'd say the Nolan, like your Christian Bale, like the point of that was that his whole thing was fear.
But he wasn't. No, I don't think there's any part of that film, any of the Nolan films, where you go, man, Batman's a scary bastard, didn't he?
No, that's true. He doesn't look big and menacing enough. No. But there's like in Batman versus Superman, like the Ultimate Edition, there's when Batman breaks into LexCorp and steals the kryptonite. Like there's that, there's just like shell casings everywhere, and then like there's just this thing on the CCTV, and he sort of goes like, and just like zips up into the air, like the stuff like that where, and like when he's sort of like in the corner of that building when the police officers like after him, and then just sort of like scurries away. Yeah. Stuff like that is like that's how he becomes like this terrifying myth of a monster sort of thing. Because it's just like how did he do that? Was that a person? Was that literally a person?
I think up to now that's the closest we've had. Was Ben Affleck's, and it's only a minor handful of instances, and I suppose really before that it would have just been the when the fear gas is going around Gotham, and he's like on top of the horse, and he's when they look up and he's flying over the top, and he's got the fucking fire eyes and stuff. That's probably the closest prior to that. But this Batman, Mr. Pattison of all people, looks genuinely fucking intimidating, and
it's even when he's just like walking through like the crime scene and stuff like that, and all the police are just sort of like,
it's just posh. Like he's got Ben Affleck's. I mean, he was a big fucking brute of a tank of a Batman, and the other ones were a lot more sleeker and ninja. But he's
gadget based.
Yeah, and Pattinson seems to be a mixture. Like even his gadgets, like when he's got that fucking guy by the throat, and then he does the electric thing through the gloves.
So but again, is that something that we're going to see where like, he's sort of like adding to this suit and he's building to it and stuff, like a Tony Stark kind of thing, where he's just like, oh well, I didn't have that thing, I'll build that in, that'll be useful. So like he was trying to choke someone out and he's still got like a few shots in the head. And go, okay, well, if we can electrocute him while I'm doing that, he's out straight away onto the next one.
Yeah.
So, like, he's constantly sort of like upgrading and stuff and fixing these problems whilst he's, probably dealing with like the chaos that Penguin's causing because he's like gun running or doing whatever the fuck he's usually up to. And then he's also got, Riddler, who's. It could just be like a Saw sort of thing. So, like, he's kidnapped a bunch of people and he's put them in weird puzzle stuff and then lets himself get arrested so he can talk to Batman and just be like,
it's going to be something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, but he's still going to have to deal with
the Zodiac killer, isn't he? Obviously, it's based on the Riddler, but Matt Reeves has said like it's based on like the killer, the movie Seven, and like the
it's just like I want to be cool.
Killer. Yeah,
like I want people to see how smart. I mean, that's Enigma's whole thing, though, is that he wants Batman to know that he's smarter than him.
Yeah,
even though that never usually pays off, but. Like it's going to be that sort of thing. It's going to be like what I suppose what Joker does in Dark Knight, where it's just sort of like there's two people in a room, you can only save one. What are you going to do? Savior of the city or your missus?
Yeah.
Like personal. What are you going to do? It's probably going to be that kind of like a psychological. He's breaking him in to be proper Batman.
Yeah.
So you might even get some sort of like he's trying to go out of his way to be not nice, but necessarily, but maybe he's holding back a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like
he gets pushed more towards the sort of like, actually, I'm just going to break your jaw and your eye and your nose, and then I'm going to leave you in the street while I fuck off and jump in my car and do something else.
Yeah. Well, they did. They did it with the Nolan thing with Neeson, and he's like, you break your one rule. He's like, I don't need to save you. Like, I'm not going to kill you. I don't need to save you, and I let him die in a thing. But
then you are killing him.
Yeah, it's effective. You've just indirectly done it. Whereas this Batman, I can see, like you say, just battering him to a pulp. You can't walk, you can't talk, you can't eat, you can't do anything else, but you're not dead. So, see it a bit.
But if there's been like some sort of thing that stops him from crossing over that line, that could be Alfred. We first see Andy Serkis in this as well, or maybe it is Catwoman.
There's a scene where it's a very quick scene, but Batman is just fucking wailing into someone, and Catwoman's like looking on, and she looks like genuinely like, what the fuck? And it seems to be that she's probably not as much of a bitch as Catwoman's mostly made out to be, and yeah, she's a thief, but she's doing it for the right reasons and all that shit. But she does look genuinely taken aback by how violent Batman is. But honestly, there wasn't a single bit of this trailer I did not like. The music was perfect.
This is the thing. Like, you know, I watched that Peacemaker trailer and I go, oh, well, the tone, you know, and maybe these people, you know, they're all kind of new and they're all sort of, if everyone's joking, then what's everyone's differences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like this just feels like, oh, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that sets the bar now.
Yeah.
But then that means that if you want to get like, because there could just be like, a really good juxtaposition with him, like going into a crime scene, so like all the forensics and detectives and stuff like that, and he just goes over there, and then that thing did this, and then over there that's a bullet hole, and then like it just
like house,
just intelligently just batters everybody in a room.
Yeah.
And you can see him, be useful and be methodical and be, really
detective.
quite. Yeah, exactly. Be, what he's supposed to be. And then there will be a scene where he will beat the living shit out of someone and just be like, oh, right, yeah, because he's still
Batman.
He's still a maniac. Yeah. And like he has the ability to just take you to the floor and kick the living Christ out of you. But he'll also solve your murder whilst he's at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that this could be potentially, like, I know that we obviously had reservations about Affleck, but when we started to see, some of the stuff from the trailers and he was going to be a bit more sort of like hands-on, we haven't seen a detective Batman as of yet. But I think this is going to be a detective Batman with action interspersed rather than the other way around, which is it's all explosions and punching and gadgets or whatever. And then he'll go, maybe this guy did it, and I'll tell you why. And he writes on a whiteboard or whatever. It's going to be all of that, and it's going to be clever and tense. I reckon it's going to be like, it's going to be a thriller. It's going to be like, people's lives on the line and whatever. But then when he gets to a point where he can beat the shit out of someone, he absolutely will do.
Well, I think that's what
I think that's how it's going to play out, and I'm very, very, very excited for it.
I'm really looking forward to it, and we're in a good position where, obviously, as a director, Matt Reeves wants to prove I can take a property like Batman and I can make something good out of it. And Robert Pattinson's going to be, I'm not just the guy from Twilight.
Yeah, this is going to set me as Like, have you seen him in Tenet?
Yeah, I haven't actually watched all of Tenet.
Really?
Yeah, there was a reason why, and it wasn't the film. I think it was like we had a power cut or something, and then I just never went back to it. But
he's
a good actor.
I think he's really I think in that, like, he's solid. Just sort of like, it's just like MI6 agent, but then you put a gun in his hands or you get fighting with someone, he looks like he can do a bit of damage.
I mean, like,
but then he's still got that kind of like suavity, but that's that kind of like Bruce Wayne, playboy, hanging out with models and stuff like that. Although obviously from what we've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any element of that. He doesn't seem like he enjoys anything about his life other than just beating the shit out of people.
He seems to be. He's not himself unless he's in the cowl.
Maybe that's why he's got like the makeup on, so he can just pop his fucking hood on as and when he wants to, sort of thing. But I think this is definitely going to be the most miserable Batman.
Oh yeah, it seems to be that way. But that just seems to be like even down to the Affleck ones. Like there was jokes are fucking plenty in Justice League, and I don't want jokes with my Batman. There's other characters that we have for that kind of comic relief, and even down to the even the Nolans. Then it's no surprise. It's not a secret that I'm not a big fan of Christian Bale Batman. I like the Nolan films, but I don't like Christian Bale's Batman. But even down to like just the stupid smarmy things like, does it come in black? Yes, everything comes in black. Like any car, any suit, anything will come in black.
Yeah, I think that's just you getting irritated by a very specific.
No, because it's I wouldn't expect in this gritty universe that Nolan was creating. I don't like. There's other characters to do these silly quips, and I don't think it suit. From the get go, like I liked Batman Begins. I think Batman Begins is my favorite Christian Bale Batman, but The Dark Knight's the better film. But I think his Bruce Wayne and his Batman are better in Batman Begins than they are in the other one. But it's shit, because it sounds like I really hate the Nolan films, and I don't. I like them,
It seems like you've got more of a, like a Henry Cavill Witcher kind of thing, where it's just like, I don't want him there just making jokes. He'll say funny things, but he's not telling a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's just sort of like, someone gets something smacked in their face, and he's like, told you. Or, he'll just sort of look. But, whenever someone's like trying to set him up for something, he's like,
Yeah.
Like, so it's just, that seemed to be what I expected from him as well.
Balance.
Like, he's not an emotional, kind of happy-go-lucky, let's all go and have a pint. He's like, I'll have sex with you, sure, but I'm not going to enjoy it, and you probably won't either. Like, it seems like he's just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And I think that if you've got a Batman that's, kind of got this like really horrible, violent, take you to the floor and smash your face in kind of side, I don't think you can put the suit back on and be like, hey ladies,
exactly.
Come on, let's go and fly my helicopter. It'd be like he'll put the coat on and stuff, and he'll go and he'll do his his galas or whatever, but he'll just be moody and sitting in the corner drinking a glass of whiskey or something. That's what I imagine. And then as soon as he's put the cow on, that's his release, and then he can go and just
beat the fuck out of everyone,
shatter people's eyes open and stuff.
But it's mostly just the fact that like everyone says, but like Christian Bale's the best Batman. Like, he's not.
He was in the best directed films. Yes,
his films are arguably better, but not as good as the Keaton films.
I don't know. I mean, 89's kind of got a charm to it, but it was also, it was like of a time when that sort of stuff just didn't exist. So it was that or nothing, really.
But it's not like it's aged poorly. Like,
no, but if you
can still watch both of those films.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But like, I reckon if you were sort of used to or grew up with like the Adam West Batman, say, like if that was your impression of sort of wacky and it's a bit sort of funny and a bit camp, and then you go and see Keaton's Batman, it's just like, oh my god, this is just life changing. Like that is not what I was expecting. And he's always dark and he's moody and he seems to be mean to people. Like, and then it sort of gets...
What a mean boy.
Yeah, he just gets wackier and wackier, and then you end up with sort of your Batman and Robin before they went, oh, stop. Yeah. Like, let's have a dark, gritty reboot again. Then you get your Nolans and stuff, and then you get your Afflecks, which is the more murderous of Batmans. But
yeah,
because there was no setup for why he's the way that he is, but then, like, with this Pattison one, if this is, a year one equivalent, again, maybe, like... in Watchmen, like Rorschach, like he's doing a sort of a flashback thing, and he was just like, I used to go lenient on people, I'd hand them over to the police and stuff like that, and then he got to one job, and it was a missing girl, and the guy had presumably like raped and killed this girl, and then fed her to his dogs, and he was just like, I am done. Like, you people are just not worth this anymore, and then just whacks him with an axe or whatever. Like, that is a great setup as to why he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Yeah, and if this is the sort of thing where he's just sort of like...
They kind of hinted on it with the Robin suit, and it was kind of like... Robin's
but again, that's
but it's
what
just
does
a
that
hint.
mean? Yeah, like, it's, again, for people like me and you, and presumably people who, listen or watch this, you may very well know about Jason Todd and the fact that Joker beat the shit out of him and killed him. But if you're just popping along to the cinema to see a bit of Superman or whatever, you're not going to know what the fuck that means until you go home and watch a YouTube video about it.
You don't know what it means until you watch Suicide Squad, and in the opening credits, it's like Harley Quinn, accomplice in the murder of Robin.
Yeah, but
it's like,
but then,
that's a film fucking later.
But then, okay, so then if you go, right, well then that's Jason Todd. Well then, where's Dick Grayson? Do you know what I mean? Like, again, if it was a Nightwing suit and another Batman suit, and they were all like covered in blood or ha-has or whatever, then you go, oh my god, it's like they've wiped his whole family out, and no wonder he's just fucking murdering, machine gunning people and whatever. But it's just a vague illusion that maybe that's what happened.
It did that. I was in a fairly recent comic run where staple face Joker. Oh man, who took his face? Was it the who's the guy with the ventriloquist dummy?
Scarface.
But
well, the dummy's called Scarface, but the fella he's got like it's like Wentworth something. Or...
like that. He takes his face off, and then Joker wakes up and then he just gets the skin and just staples it back on. But he kills Robin. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like because she had a death in the family, which is when Jason Todd died, and then I think it's death of the family, and he's like Batgirl, Alfred, like he's going after fucking everyone. And that would have been, if they went, that's kind of what that's based on. So like Nightwing's dead, Alfred's dead, Robin's dead. That'd be it. For me, that'd be enough to go. I can see why Affleck's just fucking murdering everyone, because it's just like what he was doing before clearly wasn't working. But there's nothing. All you get is a suit that's got a ha-ha, and then 2 films later, there's a tiny bit of text at the beginning of the film.
So you're supposed to notice and then associate to what you've seen before, maybe.
And don't get me wrong, up until I've seen Robert Pattison, Ben Affleck's still my favourite Batman. And he's got the worst films, but I think his portrayal of Batman is my favourite.
But don't forget that both of those films, they aren't about him.
No, they're not. And that's why...
So they just haven't given him that chance to have that breathing room.
That's what this was, wasn't it? Because Ben Affleck and Matt Reeves was doing this film originally.
Batman. Yeah.
And then obviously he dropped out and Pattinson took over. But everything about this film kind of encapsulates some of the stuff that I've liked from each of the Batman, including this Batman and Robin stuff. Kind of takes all the best bits of each iteration of Batman that we've had.
Okay.
I say Batman and Robin, I don't think there's anything Batman and Robin in there. But do you know what I mean though? So like the animated series.
Having a Robin? Like I'm still pissed off that that's like we've only had
Chris O'Donnell.
two films with a Robin. Because he was in Batman Forever with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
I mean, technically BVS, you got a suit in there.
If there's no one in it, it doesn't count. But, like, imagine if this Robert Pattison Batman, what would his Robin look like?
I mean, like 7, but
I mean, not at this point. But
right.
After he's sort of gotten past all the sort of weird Ridley stuff, and he goes, "Oh, I need to take on a ward."
They'd probably go down like a Carrie Kelly route, wouldn't they?
Do you know what? I would love to see a Carrie Kelly.
I honestly thought if you actually go back and watch our trailer reaction to Batman v Superman, we talk about the girl Bruce saves during the Zod and Superman.
Yeah.
We actually hypothesized that maybe that's Carrie Kelly, and that's the girl and obviously she grows up, she becomes Rob. Obviously that's bullshit, and that didn't happen in the movies, and we were wrong.
Would have been interesting, though, wouldn't it?
But we were quite hyped up about it. I only know this because I actually listened to that about 4 weeks ago.
Why? It's definitely not relevant to anything anymore.
No. I just had stuff on like shuffle, and it come on.
Right. Okay.
And I was like, "Fucking hell, this is old," and I just listened to it. But anyway, but I would assume that's the route they'd go down. Like everything else they've done up to now has been different in some aspect to what's come previously, and the only other way to do Robin different, I mean, to be fair, if you just had a kid, because Chris O'Donnell's like 40, so
yeah, exactly. Like, he didn't look like he was the youthful, kind of backflippy. You like if you got Tom Holland 5 years ago, like with all of his sort of like balletic and acrobatic training that he's got himself and stuff like that, I reckon you could sell that very easily.
I think Chris O'Donnell would have been a good Nightwing for the era.
I mean, they would have given him just a giant fucking rubber Nightwing suit. They didn't. I mean, they kind of did the Nightwing design in like kind of Robin suit.
It was a mixture, but it was basically just the Nightwing suit with the Robin colours.
Pretty much, yeah. But they didn't even dare go. Like, because he was like, I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to do my own thing. But I'll take this multi-million-dollar suit that you made for me. I'm going to take the boat that's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, you're not striking out on your own, are you, Robin, for God's sake?
Did you ever see who was originally cast, who got the role of Robin before Chris O'Donnell? The dude from White Chicks and Scary Movie. Marlon. Was it Marlon Wayne? Yeah, he originally cast as Robin.
That would have been a very different fucking film if that was the case.
There's like thingies of like test screenshots, screen thingies in the suit and everything. And then they just decided to go. No, I was going to say that, and then he got the part, and then after he'd done a few test screens with the suit and that, and then just went, actually, we're going to go Chris O'Donnell. See you in a bit. But he got paid for that film.
Oh, that's fun.
So yeah, trivia.
Nice little holiday, yeah. But I think if you did Carrie Kelly though, you'd still need to because kind of like Tim Drake, she's a fan, she just happens across him, whereas Tim Drake kind of goes, I can figure out who Batman and Robin are, and then does. But I would rather see because I think that the Robert Pattinson Batman would go well with the Tim Drake, someone who's just as good of a detective and survives his. Because obviously he's gone through 2 Robins by that point.
Yeah.
So he knows how to train a Robin. I think that's kind of why Tim is my favourite, to be fair. I mean, Damien's cool, but he's still fucking maniac.
Damien's just a dickhead. And it's... I don't know, actually Grayson will always be probably my favourite Robin, purely just because he becomes Nightwing. And... even Jason Todd, if we hadn't had shit Robin that everyone hated, we wouldn't have got Red Hood. And I think Red Hood is a pretty cool character, whereas Damien is just, them kids they leave school and you've struggled.
They're raised by a League of Assassins. Yeah.
No. But their dads own a business and they just get a job there and they just get handed everything. That's how I see Damien. Your dad's Batman, so it's just expected that you're gonna get trained and be awesome and stuff.
He didn't need to be though.
Well, no, because he was trained by Rage.
He completely disagrees with everything that Batman's about. It's just kill him. They don't get back up then.
There's it's one of the Court of Owls storylines when Batman fakes his death, and everyone's like, "Dick, you need to come and take over as Batman," and Catwoman's looking after one part of the city and Azrael's looking after another part of the city, and Damien's just like, fuck off, I should be Batman, not you. No, you shouldn't. You've got Batman and the closest thing to him is Dick Grayson, not
yeah.
But there's no instance where anyone would go, nah, Damien, you be Batman. Dick, you stay on as Nightwing.
It was that weird nightmare future thing from Batman vs Superman or whatever it was when the Flash pops through, when he's just murdering everyone. Damien would probably come in useful then, swinging that sword around.
Probably. But I don't hate him. It's not like a Jason Todd thing. He aggravates me like a whiny kid would. But I mean that's just.
But again, if that's what you're thinking though, when if you say that they're going to be changing things up, or if that would be, kind of a sensible way of doing things, rather than just going, it's Dick at the circus and then his parents are blah, 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 blah. And if they went, well, this kid, maybe he was saved by Batman and, he wanted to help him. And then, you get him, doing the the reverse detective stuff and tracking him down and finding out who he is. And then, kind of him taking him on and training him up. And he'd be like a fucking MMA machine. That I'd be okay with, if they went rather than just sort of acrobats and whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather Tim or Carrie Kelly. That'd be my go-to choices out of the possible ones. Because Dick Grayson's obviously it's been and done. I know we haven't had many iterations of Robin, and I think obviously is it Brandon Thwaites potentially? I can't remember if I said it right. I'm not sure if I said it right even. From Titans is probably the best version of Robin we've had.
Yep.
But it's the same story. Like I say, it's the circus, this that and the other. And I think the others are going to be more there's too much backstory to kind of get a good feeling for it. And if we go down the Jason Todd route, it's more exciting because potentially we could get a Robert Pattinson Batman and a Red Hood film, which would be pretty fucking awesome. But it's there's a lot of stuff to get to that point. I don't want it to be in the same film where we've got Jason Todd Robin. He gets murdered, and now he's Red Hood. I don't want that film.
But does this look like the sort of film that would have, or this universe that they're setting up for this Robert Pattinson Batman? Does it look like the sort of universe that would have a Lazarus Pit and magic and whatever?
No, but they'd probably do it a different route, wouldn't they? Where maybe he gets there and he thinks Robin's dead. Yeah, a serum, or like maybe it's a fake body, and Batman just ends up taking what's left because it's all going to be burnt as fuck anyway. The only thing I don't like about Under the Red Hood movie, like the animated movie, and he carries him out and it's just his clothes are ripped. I'm like, it's just exploding.
Yeah, that whole building just blew up.
Yeah. So like, if there was a fake body there, they did it in The Return of the Joker. Have you ever watched it? Batman Beyond movie.
The animated.
Yeah, it's an animated movie, but it's like a kind of like a sequel to the show, but it's a feature long.
But it's like Joker takes over Dick Grayson or something like
Tim
that?
Drake, but
it is Tim, is it? Right.
He's basically abandoned because Batman thinks that he's dead, but he wasn't, and Joker and Harley basically fuck with his mind and turn him fucking loopy. And I could see it be a similar thing. Batman gets there, finds a body that's all burnt up, but it's not Jason Todd. And because he was left, and he gets tortured, and then he becomes Red Hood that way. So you wouldn't have to do the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think this is as like a jumping off point for extending out that universe. This is the one. This is the version that I'd want that to be happening. Like, I want to see what that Robin would look like. I want to see what that guy's Joker looks like.
Yeah.
I want to see. Do you know what I mean? Like all that Rogues Gallery, all the Bat Family and stuff like that.
All the stuff that's going
on. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so good. I might watch it again after
I'm going
this.
to watch it again, mate.
Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah, I'm going to do exactly that as well. But we're going to wrap it up. I think that's everything from Fandome we wanted to talk about. There's like Shazam 2, which I quite like the first one, so I'm sure that's going to be.
This one's really good, but they didn't show any. It was just like behind the scenes stuff. It was like, show me a fucking clip or a trailer or something.
Well, the whole thing is just like, we haven't got anything to show you as of yet. So here's like 30 seconds that we just sort of cobbled together with what we have got. At least then we've got something to show at Fandome, which to me it feels like it's like you've got a big test at school, and then the night before you're like, oh my god, and then you just sort of like, it's the highlights of what that's going to look like.
Do with these podcasts. It's like 20 minutes before and go, fuck, we've got to do a podcast.
But that's kind of what it felt like. It's just like, they're just like, you're making a Shazam film, and you're making a Black Adam film, and you're making a Batman, and blah 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 blah. By the way,
Aquaman 2 as well.
That Fandome thing is in 2 weeks. We expect you to show something, and they're all like, we haven't finished yet. Like, what do you want us to show? Fucking clapperboards with the names written on. That's all we've got, because it's in every pissing trailer so far. Every
act, The Rock and Jason Momoa and all your other directors are all sat there fretting, and Matt Reeves and Pattinson there just going, we've got something ready.
Like, we've been working on this for like 4 years. Come on.
Pattinson got fucking COVID for this. It's got to be good.
Well, clearly that's why he's so pissed off through the whole thing. It's just like, I'm ill and I feel ill and I don't want to be here.
Joking aside, it could even be something like that.
Clearly it works, or at least it looks like it could work anyway.
Method acting. Anyway, we shall leave it there. If you haven't watched it, I massively suggest you head over to YouTube and check out not just the Batman, some of the other stuff we've looked at. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think this is the worst Batman trailer of all time. You're massively wrong, but whatever, it's your opinion. But yeah, let us know. Jump to the comments, head onto the wall, whatever you want to do. I'm like your mom, whatever. Anyway. Head over to www.podcastversusplayer.com or youtube.com/podcast versus player. It's all going along the bottom of the screen, Dan. Don't know if you can see it. I haven't pressed the button. There we go.
It's fine. I'm stoned, so don't worry about it.
I thought so. But we'll see in the next one. We've got some more stuff coming up, and we're not going to talk about it though, just in case we change our mind.
Useful, because that's probably what will happen.
Always does.
Nice. Nice.
See you in a bit. Bye.
That's my chocolate. That's my lunch. Leave it alone.
So what do you need, Doc?
I mean, I was looking for like a hammer or something.
Where are the weather's?
Go, quick! He's running out of blood.
Going.
Oh my god, he's running out of blood. Callum's going to die in like 3 seconds. Currently, his lungs are between his balls.
Yeah.
But, sorry. Oh!
What you done? Oh, no, he pulled his leg!
You should be here.
I'm doing what you're telling me to do.
Ooh!
There's a die.
Got
Oh,
it.
shit. I got a box to put the heart in.
No, Callum! Yank this sucker. No, don't stick it in, don't waste it! Right, I'm
trying
going to fucking beat you to death with this fucking canister of air. Come here.